She made her way to my office yesterday and then said, okay, sir, I'm here. I've been trying to make an appointment. I need to hear it from you. So she then explained the whole story to say, my child was here years back, and I've been trying to raise funds because I couldn't take my child to Masbambane High School. Then I had to opt for other schools. But now I have enough money and I know that my child will be in the good school. And my response was, there's no space. We couldn't even open any application beside grade zeros. And the parents couldn't understand that. And I had to take back to the history in terms of how Masbambane was built and where we find ourselves now, having grade 12 classes and we cannot enroll more kids. So the interesting part of it came from where I come from. I come from the same community. I did my grade 12 there and furthered my studies and taught in one of the Model C schools. And then after 4 years, I thought, you know what, I think they need me more in Orange Farm compared to well-off schools that are in Johannesburg. I made my way there, and that's when I met these guys. So I've been with the school for about 8 years, and they've appointed me as a newly headmaster last year. And some of the things is that, okay, I need to introduce myself, I forgot. Ernest. So you'll see with the photos, our photos, we still have to learn to take more pictures, but it's more centered on the learners. Because when I drive in the community of Orange Farm and I see the plight of poverty and social challenges that the community is faced with. And one of the people that asked me, now you're the headmaster, you can go and stay or in one of the suburb areas, you can afford this. I said, I'm not moving anywhere because every now and then when I drive out of my house, driving to the school, I get reminded every day as I enter that school. The school needs to be safe. There has to be quality teaching taking place. And, you know, the learners need to enjoy being in that environment. They have to forget the community that they're coming from. As they come from Masbambane, so we're really an academic school. I know there's a lady there who's asking to say, are you a music school? No, we're not. So through, as we tell you about our history and our story and the challenges, you'll get to catch on those things. So now, as a newly appointed headmaster, I felt like I need to continue growing myself to become one of the best principals in South Africa, serving in a disadvantaged community like Orange Farm. So through Partners for Possibility, I think that was the first stepping stone for me, which has assisted in this leadership role to make sure that I achieve my vision. So the school is a fast-growing school, as I've said before. It's an independent combined school, 50 kilometers south of Johannesburg. And we've been achieving 100% for the past 4 years. We had our first matric in 2013. Now, because of this achievement, now the parents, there's a high demand from the parents who wants to enroll the kids in, because they could see in terms of the results, they could see how well disciplined our kids are. They could see all these things that we're trying to provide within our community. So now, when we're struggling with a partner, now I introduce you to Pat and had to meet with her and said, you know what, we need classrooms. How do we do it in this community? Who's going to come and build this classroom? How do we go about doing it? So before I would get to that part, I think I just need to introduce her so that she can start saying something about that. But I think beside these other things, I ask myself, why am I still standing today? With the loss of some of the staff members, learners, and the serious challenges that the school faced in the past 2 years. and to have a shoulder. And thank you very much, Mark, for, I won't talk about mistresses. But anyway, I mean, she's been there, shoulder to cry on, and someone that I know that when she's there, at least she eases the burden. Pat, over to you.
Thank you, Ernest. So I went to a Partners for Possibility presentation and volunteered my services. Many years ago, I was actually a teacher. And by a complete miracle, MMI decided to sponsor Partners for Possibility at Masibambani. And Dina phoned me and said, "We need you." So it was a huge privilege to be sponsored in this process and to work with a school like Masibambani.
Okay. So, people ask to say, how do you continue to achieve these results? So, what we do at the grade 12 level, we make sure that we keep our learners longer at the school. Because we know that there's teaching and learning that's taking place. They have rooms to continue preparing for their final exams. And we know it's a safe school and they can achieve those. So, you know, some part of me, well, you can't pick up this. You might think, wow, he's got it all of that. So I'm quite a very reserved person. You know, I say quite a few things. And Pat said, no. Now you need to be challenging the board of the school. And really, those classrooms needs to be built. I said, no, Pat, how do you challenge the chairman? How do I now? I still have to prove myself as a new headmaster. I says, no, you can't do that. So we then made a meeting, planned a meeting, and we met the finance committee. And then we were trying to find a breakthrough to say, how do we do this? And some ideas did came, and some, as we presented to the board, they said, we don't have money. We won't be able to afford someone who will go and knock to the company doors and help us in raising these funds. So through the SMT that I have with me, we then came with the building committee. And then the building committee, their focus is to, so now we're also sharing in our table, looking at the business letter that we've came up with that we want to take to the corporates. But internally, we have raised funds through our parents. We got our parents very excited. There's quite a very big event that's coming on the 14th of October. Now, with some of the things that I've learned through this partnership and the program, I mean, coming from Orange Farm and getting a call from Standard Bank Wealth in Rosebank, and getting there, they said, from the CSI department said, now we want you to tell us about Masibambane College and how can we help you. You know, I mean, being a teacher, being a maths and a science teacher, that was my focus. And getting to a space where now you have to sit with business people and convince them why should they bring money to Orange Farm. It was quite challenging, but with some of the tools that I have and still learning, I was able to really talk about, say, these are non-monetary opportunities, and these are the monetary opportunities, and I think you need to take advantage. And we can name a classroom in your name. So they were excited, and I must say, we are moving.
The biggest lesson for me was what is wonderful about Masibambane, what is different about Masibambane, and what sets it apart and makes it very special. And I think one of the biggest observations for me is the strong discipline. Every child feels safe because they know at any time exactly what's expected of them, what standard of behavior is expected of them. Also, the fact that the parents make some financial contribution seems to deepen the relationship between the parents and the school. They can demand things from each other because there's a real contract between them. Also, if you come to Orange Farm and see Masibambane, just having grass and having a garden completely changes the experience of being at school. Being a faith-based school means that the children have a sense of unity and a sense of purpose beyond themselves. And finally, the absolute dedication to the vocation of teaching of both the principal and the staff members, way beyond what they paid for, is just the golden key to unlocking wonderful things in these children. Every time I go to Masibambane, I come away filled with admiration for what Ernest achieves every day on his own and with the children to create the miracles he's talked about.
Okay. Oh, stop. Okay.
Stop.
Okay, thank you very much.